Hi, everybody. Hi. Welcome to today's Feature Spotlight. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Abby. Really excited to have you all joining the Feature Spotlight today. So today we're going to be talking all about managing multiple locations in Mangomint. So this webinar, it's really going to be perfect for any of you out there who own or manage a salon or spa with more than one location, or if you're just thinking about expanding your business in the future, you'll get a lot of great tips from this webinar as well. The really cool thing about having multiple locations in Mangomint is that they can actually share some or all of your services, staff members, memberships, gift cards, things like that. But it's really great as well because you also have the flexibility to do things like run separate reporting on individual locations and things like that. So, no matter if you're watching, maybe you have 2 locations or maybe you have 10 or even 20 locations. Regardless of how many locations you have, Mangomint is going to make it super easy to run your entire multi-location business from a single account. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that today. So as usual, if you have any questions about setting up multiple locations in Mangomint, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'll try to get to any questions that come up, and anything that we don't get to, we'll definitely be able to follow up with you after today's webinar as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen, and we're going to jump right into our live demo. Okay, and let me know if anybody cannot see that. Okay, so right now I am in my demo account for the Seven Lakes Salon and Spa. And so first what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna check out our current locations that we've set up, and then I'm gonna show you guys how to add another one. So in this example, this particular example for the Seven Lakes Salon and Spa, they already have 2 locations set up. So the way you're gonna go to actually manage all of your locations is you're going to go to Settings, and then you're just gonna click on Business Setup right here. So we're going to go ahead and click that. And then you just go here to the Locations tab. And so as you guys can see, we do have a few locations already set up in this account. We actually have 2 so far. So we have the Seven Lakes Salon and Spa, the main location. And then if we scroll down a little bit, you can also see that we have the Seven Lakes Shoreline Avenue location as well. So we already have these 2 set up. And you guys will notice that it's really easy to see different details about each of the locations when you go to this screen. So you can see things like the address, the contact email address, the phone number as well. You can also see information about the service tax rate and the product tax rate for that particular location. And you can set up different tax rates for different locations if you want to. And then of course you can see the time zone as well. So of course, if you needed to edit any of this information for a location you had already set up, it's super easy to do that. All you need to do is scroll down here, and we're just going to go to these 3 dots right here. And then you just click on Edit. So you just click that, and you can always go through at any time and update the information for a certain location if you need to. And if you needed to, you could also rename a location. So I'm just going to go ahead and cancel out of that. And then if you wanted to rename the location, you just go here and click Rename. Okay, so that's kind of some background on the 2 locations I've already set up. Now I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to set up a new location in Mangomint. So, maybe you've opened a new location in your salon or spa and you're ready to add that inside of Mangomint. So it's super easy to do that. Let's go ahead and do it now. And one thing to point out too is first we'll go ahead and click on Add a Location. This is going to now ask you what type of location are you setting up. So there's basically 2 types of locations that you can set up. You can set up a physical location. This is going to be the most common choice, and this is what I'm going to show you how to create today. And basically, a physical location is just any real location you have that has its own physical address attached to it. Now, you could also set up a virtual location if you wanted to. This is slightly less common, but you could use a virtual location if, for example, you have a different business types at the same address. So maybe, for example, you have a, one location that has both a hair salon and a nail salon at the same address, and you'd actually prefer to have those in separate locations. So you could use a virtual location for that. or the same, any type of example if you had a spa and a hair salon, whatever it may be. And also another useful time where you might want to use the virtual location is if you need to set up a separate location that does not have its own address. So if you do things like virtual consultations or things like that, then you could go ahead and set up a virtual location for that. But in this example, we're going to go ahead and create a new physical location. So all I'm going to do is click here where it says physical location, and then I'm just going to click continue. And we're just going to go ahead, and now it asks for address information. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that here. Let's say it's at 515 Harbor Way, and it's going to be in Portland, Maine. So we just go and we continue to add our information. There we go. And then we'll just add the zip code and hit continue. And then it's going to ask for a time zone. So we'll go ahead and select that. We actually had the correct one selected. So we'll do America, New York and continue. And then you just need to add the contact details for this location. So for this one, I'm just going to add an email address. Go ahead and add that. And then we'll just add a phone number and hit continue. And then it's going to ask, what is the tax rate for this location? Of course, it's fine to leave those empty if you want to, if you don't know them yet. For this example, I'm going to go ahead and just add 10% for the product tax rate and 15% for the service tax rate. So we'll go ahead and add that and hit continue. And then lastly, you need to add the name of the location. So I'm going to go ahead and call this one Seven Lakes Waterfront. Okay, and then that's all we need to do. And then we'll just confirm the change and hit confirm. And now the location has been added. So it says the location was successfully added. And then we're going to go ahead and continue setting up our location. So we'll just hit OK. And what you guys will see here is now when we scroll down in the locations details here, we can see our new location. We've added the Seven Lakes Waterfront location. So now I'm going to show you guys how to set up staff members for the new location. So now that we've set up our third location, we need to add some staff members to actually get it up and running, especially so people can start booking appointments here. So we're just going to click on settings and then click on staff members. There we go. And now we are in the staff member setup right here. And so for this, what you guys can see here is the location currently selected here is the Seven Lakes Salon and Spa, the main location. And so you can see here that we currently have 4 staff members that are already working at the main location. Let's say, for example, that Andre and Stella, they've now decided to split their time between the main location and the new waterfront location we've just set up. In this example, the locations are in the same city, so it's easy for them to travel between locations. And so they're going to split their time between the locations. So what you're going to do is we are already set up here on the main where we have our staff members set up. And so all you need to do is select a staff member, and then we'll select Andre. And then you just go to the locations tab right here. And then you can see Andre is already enabled to work at the main location and the Shoreline Avenue location. So now we're also going to enable Andre to work at the Seven Lakes Waterfront location that we just created. So we'll just click that, and we'll go ahead and do the same for Stella as well. So we'll just click on Stella, and then we'll go ahead and go to the locations tab. You can see here she's already working at the main and Shoreline Avenue locations. And we'll just go ahead and enable Stella for the waterfront location as well. And then also, now we'll also add another staff member. It depends. In some cases, you may be sharing staff members across multiple locations. But then in other situations, you may not actually have any overlap across different locations when it comes to your staff members. So we can kind of support any of those use cases or any combination of it. So what we'll do now is to add a new staff member to our new location. We'll go here and just select the Seven Lakes Waterfront. And we can see Andre and Stella are already here. And then I'll just add one new staff member. So let's just add a staff member. This will be Sarah Smith. Okay. And then we'll just go ahead and add her phone number. and then user type, all that good information there. And then we're going to make her a service provider as well. And we won't invite her right now. So now we've added Sarah Smith to the Seven Lakes waterfront location as well. And so, let's say, for example, in this demo purposes here, Sarah is only going to work at the waterfront location. So we're not going to go and add her to any of the other locations. So we have kind of a combination going. We have Sarah working here and not at any other locations. But then we also have Andre and Stella who are working at both, really all three locations, at the main shoreline and the waterfront location. And then what you would do is just continue to add as many staff members as you need to for this new location that we've added. So you would just proceed to continue adding those. And now that we've added the staff members for the location, there's something else that we need to do. So we actually now need to set up the staff member work hours for the new location so that they can actually have some openings and different shifts available at this location. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and do this for Andre right now. So let's go ahead and click on Andre, and we're just first going to check out his schedule here. So let's go here to work hours, and then let's first take a look at the main location that he's working at. Since he already has some shifts there, we want to make sure, of course, that there's no overlap or things like that, because obviously he can't be in two places at one time. So it looks like at the main location, he's working Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And it looks like he does have Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays open. So let's go ahead and give Andre a new shift at the waterfront location. So all we want to do is click here where it says location, and then we'll just choose waterfront. And now we can see here that he doesn't currently have any shifts at the waterfront yet. And so we're going to go ahead and give Andre, let's give him a repeating Friday shift at the waterfront location. So we'll just go ahead and click here. And we're going to go ahead and set up a repeating shift. And we'll just proceed to add that. So we'll just give Andre a few hours every Friday there. We'll do a 9 to 1 p.m. shift, and we'll go ahead and save it. And so now Andre, you can see that he is set up to work at the Seven Lakes waterfront location on Fridays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And so that's all you need to do. You would just continue to set up your staff's working hours for this new location. So you just repeat that process for any of the staff members that are working there. So now that we've set up our staff members for the new location, I'm going to show you guys how to set up services for the new location. So what we're going to do next is go to settings, and I'll show you how to do that. So we'll click on settings, and then we're going to click on services. And what you can see here is we do have the Seven Lakes waterfront location that is selected, as that's the one we were already on. And so what you guys are going to notice, let me click here and just show you the main location. So this has all these different service categories set up. I'll just kind of scroll through these. And then I'm going to go back to the Seven Lakes waterfront location. And so what you guys are going to notice here is that when we created our new waterfront location, all of the service categories from the main location were populated over to this new location to help save us some time. So that's something really important to point out, is when you're making new locations, the service categories will be copied over to the new locations automatically, but the individual services will not be copied over automatically to the new location. So just something to keep in mind. But this should still definitely save you a lot of time. Typically, most of our customers, they offer similar services across different locations, and that's the most common use case. And then this also means if you were to add new service categories at this new location, that service category would automatically be added to your other existing locations as well. So that's kind of how that all works. So if you have a few services that you want to offer at multiple locations, you can see that it's super easy to set that up because of how this works. So what we're going to do is let's just select our main location to take a look at that. So what you can see here is that we already have a ton of services available at our main location. And so now we actually want to enable a lot of these services for the new waterfront location, because that location is going to offer a lot of the same services. So we can just go through here, and we already have these individual services set up. So there's a really fast way to do this. If you just go here and click on locations for each of the individual services, you can go and start enabling these for our waterfront location. So if we click that, we can just go through and enable some of these. So we'll enable the shortcut, enable that for waterfront, and you can see how fast this is to do. And then something else you guys are going to notice here is you see where it has the pricing adjustment right here. So if you wanted to, you could even adjust the pricing if you wanted to offer the same service at multiple locations, but use different pricing based on what location they're at. So let's just go down here. We'll add a blowout. We'll just continue to do that. Let's say, for example, at the waterfront location, let's just say that we want to bump that up by $5. You could make that $80 instead of $75. So really easy to adjust that pricing. And it has a nice message here to show you that you have adjusted that pricing. You can always reset it to the default if you wanted to. So we'll just go through and continue enabling some of these services here at the waterfront location. And we'll just enable a few facials as well. So we're going to offer all of our facial offerings at the waterfront location. All right, and this is the last one we'll add. So now all of those services are enabled at our new waterfront location. So you could see how fast we were able to do that. So now we've set up our staff members for the location, and we've also set up some services for the new location. So next I want to show you guys how to set up resources for the new location. And we want to set that up because we do want to use resource scheduling at this new location as well. So again, resource scheduling gives you the ability to manage all of your different resources, equipment, tools, rooms, etc., so that they're always available when you need them for certain appointments that require them. So all you need to do next is go to settings. And this time we're actually going to scroll down to right here where it says resources. So we'll go ahead and click that. And now we're on the resources setup. And so now we're going to go ahead and add a couple resources to the new location. So similar to the services setup, when we check out this new location, you'll be able to see that all of the resource groups have already been added to the new location automatically. And I'll show you guys what that means. So right now we're on the main location. You can see we have different resource groups set up. So we have equipment and tools, special events, steam and sauna rooms, and the rooms as well. And so if we now go here and select our new location, we've now selected the waterfront location. And so what you guys can see is that those different resource groups, they've carried over to the waterfront location as well. And so we'll just go ahead now and add some different resources here. So let's add some equipment rooms. So we'll just call this, we'll add a machine here. We'll create that. And then of course you can continue to update these settings as you see fit. And then you would also want to make sure you assign it to services as well. We won't go through that whole setup process, but I just want to show you guys as an example. Let's go ahead and add another resource. So this time we're going to add a steam room. So we'll just call this steam room 1, and that will also be at the Seven Lakes waterfront. And we'll add a couple of these here. We'll add steam room 2, and then let's also add just a regular room that they can book. So we will call this the green room, and then we'll add another one called the blue room. So now we've set up some resources that are specific to the Seven Lakes waterfront location. Okay, so now I want to show you guys how the multiple locations look on the calendar when you're booking appointments and you're trying to check out availability and all of that, and then also show you guys how they look in online booking. So let's now pop over to the calendar. So we'll go ahead and click on calendar. And I want to show you guys, what this looks like in terms of your staffing, your available resources, all of that. So let's go ahead and first we'll go here. And let's go ahead and check out the main location. So right now, what you can see here is we are on the day view. And so when you have this selected, you can see that you can view the individual location, and then you can also show it by group. So you can look specifically only staff schedules or all staff and resources, only equipment and tools or different resource groups as well. And then what you can do is you can update this. So right now we're looking at the main location, but let's say I want to check out the shoreline location, so I can see that. And then you can go and continue clicking through those. This one isn't showing just because we don't have availability on the calendar for this Tuesday, but you can see how easy it is to just click through there. And then if you went ahead and switched to this other view, you can also look at the week view. So let me go ahead and select that. And so when you select the week view, then what you'll notice here is if you click back here, you can actually see the schedules on an individual basis by different staff member. So those appear here, or you can also look at specific resources. And so these are actually going to show across locations as well. So it's really nice to get that bird's eye view, especially if you have a situation like we have now, where we have Andre and Stella, they're working at multiple locations. So we can actually check out Andre's schedule right now. Let's go ahead and click on Andre. And then we are checking out today. We're looking at his schedule for today, Tuesday. And so what you guys will notice here is if we go ahead and click through these different appointments that have been, in this case, these ones were completed. But what you can see here is if you look on the right side, you can see which location they were at. Because remember, Andre works at the main location in his morning. So you can see that he had a few appointments that were at the main location right there. And you can see it says main. And then if you click on this one with Tracy Jenkins, you're going to notice that now the location says Seven Lakes Shoreline Avenue, because in this example, he does work at the Shoreline Avenue location on certain days on Tuesday afternoons. And so you can see there. So it's really easy to see when, when you have a staff member that has appointments that are booked across multiple locations and they're going to those different locations. So very easy to see all of that. And then something else is that you can also view all of the locations on the client timeline as well. So let's go ahead and we'll just check out, look at a client here just so I can show you guys what that looks like. So we have Michaela pulled up here. Let's go ahead and click here. We've pulled up Michaela's client details. And you guys will notice right here, if you scroll down, you can look at different items here. We're going to filter by appointments. And now you can see it also shows the location right here on the client timeline. So you can go, and in this case, you can see Michaela has just been having her appointments at the main location. And then if you go out of that one, let's go check out Tracy Jenkins just to see what that looks like. You can go ahead, you can see all of the information on her client timeline, and you can see this has the Seven Lakes Shoreline location as well. So it's super easy to see that and check out all of the client details there and see all of the locations where they've had their appointments. So you can stay really organized and stay on top of that information. Okay, also something else you can do is that you can even filter the client list by the location that your client already had an appointment at previously. So let me go ahead and show you this. And this is something a little bit newer that we've released more recently. So if you just click on clients now, and then what you can do here is just go ahead and click on options. And what you'll see here is we have this filter that says had appointment at. And so this is really nice. You can, this is really nice if you want to only see clients that had an appointment at a certain location. So maybe you want to see ones at any location, but if you wanted to, you could just click Shoreline Avenue, for example. And now you can see that we've had 3 clients who had an appointment at Shoreline Avenue. So definitely recommend you check that out. This is really nice when you want to, get a list of certain clients who have had appointments at certain locations or things like that. Okay, so I also want to show you guys what this looks like in online booking when you have a multi-location setup like we have here. So the really cool thing about the online booking when you have this type of situation is that you can select which locations are enabled for online booking. And you can actually let your client select a location first when they book an appointment. So I'm just going to show you guys how to do that. So we're going to go to settings, and then we're just going to click online booking right here. And so this is kind of what I was just talking about here. So in the online booking settings, you can allow clients to book online for each individual location. So let's say, for example, right now the Seven Lakes waterfront is disabled. So this is actually not able to be booked online right now. But we're all about online booking at Mangomint and making it as easy as possible for clients to book appointments. So I'm going to go ahead and enable the Seven Lakes waterfront. So that is that you can actually book appointments for that location in online booking. So all you do is click that, super easy. And then let me go ahead and show you guys what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and just share my other screen with you so I can show you guys what that looks like in online booking. Okay, so let me just switch screens here. We'll go ahead and refresh that. And so this is the online booking. This is what that would appear like if you had this on your website. You've added the widget to your website, things like that. And so this is really cool because now you guys can actually, when your clients are coming in and you have these multiple locations set up, they can easily go here and select which location they want to book at. So they can see the main, the Shoreline Avenue, and the new waterfront location that we just enabled for online booking. And then once they select their location, we'll just go ahead and select the main location. Then, of course, they would see all the service categories just like normal, and they can continue to go through and select which service they would like to book. So super easy. And as you can see, it's super streamlined for your clients as well, even if you have lots of different locations. All right, let me go ahead and share my other screen with you just to jump back into the app. Okay. And here's our sales screen. You can see that right now we're looking at all of the sales for the main location, but it's super easy as well. When you have this multi-location setup, you can view the different sales per location. So what you can do is actually just use this little setting right here, and you just select a different location if you wanted to. So we've now selected the Shoreline Avenue, so you can see all the different sales specifically for the Shoreline Avenue. And you can select the waterfront location as well. Obviously, that's a new one, so we're not seeing any sales there just yet. And then you can continue to, if you want to filter it even further, if you click on options here, you can go and select a particular location and then even use additional filters as well. So you can really hone in on exactly what information you're looking to get about the sales for each location. Also want to make sure we go over reports and just show you guys the reporting a little bit more. So let me go ahead and just click on reports. And our reports it's a really great setup for multi-location businesses. So the nice thing about our reports in Mangomint is that you can filter reports by location. So this is going to really help you drill down into the data that you want. Or of course, you can also just view reports that combine data for multiple locations if you wanted to. So that's really helpful if you want to get a bird's eye view of all of your different locations across your entire business. But again, if you want that more detailed view and you want to look into the data for specific locations, you can actually break it out by location to get a lot more detailed reporting. So I'll just show you an example. We'll go to the staff reports here, and we have this payroll report. And so what you can do is you can actually, of course, if you wanted to, you could have the report kind of show the data for all three of our locations if you wanted to. But for this example, let's just say we only want to look at the payroll report for the Shoreline Avenue. So all you need to do is just uncheck these right here so that, because again, we only want to see the Shoreline Avenue data. We'll just click that, and then we want to see it for today, and then we'll generate it. And so as you can see now, we can see the locations right here, so that reminds you of which location you're pulling this information for. You can see that we're looking at the Shoreline Avenue information. So this is really great. This is just an example of one report. I'll just click through, and you can see the really cool thing about our reports is that the majority of these reports, if they have any data related to location, then you'll be able to filter these by location. So again, if you want to look at the data for all the locations, you can. But again, you can uncheck certain circles here if you only want to pull that report for a certain location. So you can continue to go through, and you can just see how you can do it for all of these different reports, and it continues on payment summary, all of that. So really helpful, again, whether you need that bird's eye view of lots of different locations. Maybe you have 15 different locations. You want to get that consolidated information of all of your locations and get that consolidated reporting. Or, you definitely want to look at each location on an individual basis and get a really detailed view about what's going on at that specific location. It's super easy to do that with Mangomint's native reporting feature. Okay, so I think we're at a good point where I do want to just check and see if we have any questions that have come into our chat. Let me just look at that real quick. Okay, I do see. Oh, this is a great question. Thank you, Sarah, for asking this. So Sarah has just asked us, how do memberships and packages work with multiple locations? So that's an excellent question, something I didn't really touch on yet in this webinar. And I'll click on settings. We can just click on package setup, for example, while I'm kind of talking through some of this. But to answer your question, so when you set up a membership or a package, you'll actually be able to sell and redeem memberships and packages across your multiple locations you've set up. So it's really nice and it's super streamlined because you don't need to set up separate memberships or packages that are tied to each location or anything like that. But something to point out specifically when it comes to memberships is that you can choose to specify the billing location for membership if you want to. So let me just show you something here. If we go to settings, we'll go to the app manager, and I'll show you where you can control this setting. But if you click on memberships here, and then just click on settings, you can see here we have this setting where it says membership billing location. So you can choose to always bill through a single location if you wanted to. And then in that case, you would just select what is the default, the single location that will always be used. But if you wanted to, you could choose the billing location for individual memberships. So this is basically if you want to associate the sales with that particular membership only for one location, then you would want to use that one, and you actually want to control it for different memberships. So in this example, we're just going to leave it to this setting where it says choose the billing location for individual memberships. And then what we're going to do is let's go ahead and just go to memberships, and we'll just add a new one so I can show you what that looks like. So we're on the memberships tab here. We'll just go ahead and say new membership, and then we'll just add a new one. We'll add one for Tracy Ray's. She's purchasing another membership. Let's say, for example, that she wants to buy the massage membership. We'll go ahead and do automatic payments, which is recommended. And then this is where that comes into play. So you now see we have this setting for a specific billing location. So if we switch that to waterfront, for example, then all of the billing associated with this membership will be tied to the waterfront location. So you just go ahead, you can start the membership and charge it, and you're good to go. So that was a great question. But yes, in general, memberships and packages, they can be shared across all of your locations. So we make that super easy in Mangomint when it comes to having a lot of different locations. All right. Well, I think we have, we've wrapped up our feature spotlight today. We've definitely covered a lot of the basics of managing multiple locations in Mangomint. But definitely, if you have questions about how to manage multiple locations, or especially if you have questions about something that we didn't have time to cover today, there's other aspects of locations that will come into play when you're setting up your Mangomint account. You're setting up your products, inventory, a lot of other things that we didn't even have time to dive into in this particular webinar. So definitely reach out if you have any questions. And of course, you can also easily chat with our support team, and also check out our Learning Center. We've got some great resources there as well if you have any questions about managing multiple locations in Mangomint. All right. Well, thanks so much for tuning in today, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.